So we celebrate the memorial of St. Teresa of Avila, Virgin and Doctor of the Church. And of the few chosen as a doctor of the Church, a woman. Why? Because she was filled with the Spirit, so eager to change what was there in the Carmelite order. She went there and stuck on the old rule. Would imagine ourselves, somebody coming up and we go to the regular non-blood. How many of us would accept that? She also faced opposition, a lot of trials, but she prayed about it and she conquered through the Spirit. We are all called to be saints. In the first reading, we hear that all creation, all creatures, we ourselves included, we groan inwardly to give birth, to attain salvation. When I was meditating, I also somehow went into the mystics, like St. Teresa. I thought what we have learned through the week, and looking at the earth itself, we saw in the movie how we ourselves, the inhabitants of the earth, are trying to spoil everything. And looking at this reading, everything is awaiting redemption, salvation. We're there to serve the world. Instead of it tending towards perfection, we are spoiling it, maybe going backwards. We ourselves, are we growing inward, like a woman giving birth? If a woman, there is no any other alternative for a woman who is pregnant. She has to give birth. If she doesn't, even if the child dies in her womb, they have to bring the child out. And this is the salvation we yearn, we long for. Come what may, salvation should be there. Today we are worried that people have stopped coming to churches. The churches are empty. But for sure, they may go somewhere, but there is a spirit within them telling them they have to come back to the fold. If they do not come to the church, that's why you see, they have to find something to compensate with, because God has put the spirit within them. That's why even salvation, we are saying salvation is the work of God. We may try all efforts, all means to pull people to come to church. But the Spirit of God tells them a lot, speaks a lot within them. They have to come back to the fold. But what's important for us who are here is to be part of Christ, to be that branch which is groomed to bear more fruit in plenty. And this gives us happiness to be part and parcel of Christ. If we are not part of Christ, we wither. Happiness, true happiness, comes from faith in God. This is what St. Paul is saying. Some of us separated brethren, you call them Protestants. If you pronounce that you are Protestant, they are not happy. They will say, what are we protesting against? Perhaps they were only Protestant during the time of Martin Luther. Today they would feel, maybe if you say separated brethren, the term we are using, they say, what is salvation? If you are baptized, you say, hallelujah, I'm saved. There and then. St. Paul says, no, we are not yet saved. We have to wait for this salvation. We have to wait for perfection. So let us work on this earth. Let us make the earth habitable, a home where we can live, by being champions of ecology, balancing the ecosystem, then at the same time doing good. But you have to know, yesterday we were given an example that the people who do good are not liked. Those waiting for the United Nations, we are trying to champion because the goodness, but people not like it. Neither St. Teresa of Avila was liked by our own sisters. mercy is draw for perfection. That's why we are adopted today. So with this spirit, and whatever we have learned during the week, let us incorporate all this and strive for perfection. Give birth to salvation.